So then guys, welcome to this video. This has been sort of something I've been teasing for a while, but we're going to be doing exhaust sounds today. So this is going to be sounds of this full spoon exhaust, spoon manifold, spoon B-pipe, spoon back box, full spoon system. Now we're going to go for a drive with the bung in. I'm then going to do some revs with it in, then we'll take the bung out, then we'll go for a drive with the bung out. I've also got George with me because this is more fun with friends, and so we're just basically going to go blast about and see what the difference in sound is, and we'll probably also do a decibel check as well, just to see how much quieter the spoon bung makes it compared to without it in. That's the idea really. So I suppose let's jump in the car. So then guys, we're in the car, George is here. Let's drive this car with the bung in, get an idea of what this is going to be like. Also, I forgot to mention in the intro that we have the LSD obviously, and I haven't given you an impression of that since I've owned it. So we'll see, because it's a little bit wet today, so we'll see if all of the things I've had done recently are going to have made a difference or not. Otherwise I've just spent all my money for nothing.
Yeah, go on.
This is also the bit where I can't make this turn in one. So you kind of have to like come out this way, knowing you're going to do it. Then full lock. Oh, am I going to do it? Oh, geez. Oh, I just realised I pulled away in a second. Oh my God, I've done it. I don't think I've ever done that before. Okay, so things that I've noticed since this has been changed. Since I put all the mounts in, there are so many more vibrations, and the higher up the rev range you get, the more you hear like stuff rattling, and I think I could do some playing behind the dash for things that I reckon are just tapping things slightly. At least the engine's in it where it should be and hasn't got a broken mount anymore.
Doesn't jump around.
Yeah, this is like normal driving speed with the bung in. It's pretty livable really.
Just quiet.
It has been a few weeks now since it's been changed, so I can't really remember how it was just driving around. But I guess I could just look back. That's a good thing about having a YouTube channel, is I could just look back at the videos.
Yeah.
What I've also found is that with the new manifold, I've found that because of the more free-flowingness of it, that is horrendous English, but we'll go with it. I found that I can actually be a gear up on what I used to be without the manifold. So at 30, I can now cruise in 5th, which before I had to be in 4th. I don't know if there is actually a benefit to that or not.
Yeah, that grips.
Like, how mental is that?
That was nuts.
Jesus Christ. Like, it's wet.
Oh my God.
It's wet, and
we should have been in the hedge then.
like, how nuts is, oh my, it's so insane.
Even the gear changes are just so much more precise now.
Yeah, it's wet. The gearbox has made a huge difference.
Change gear and bang, it's on the power straight away again.
And then I guess the thing which I mentioned in when I got the gearbox fitted, the thing that I felt was that it feels like you're being pulled by both wheels now rather than just the one.
Yeah.
And that paired with these tyres and that suspension setup means that just corners so ridiculously well. That's not even what we're doing this video about. I just realised I'm chatting about the car. I suppose it's supposed to be about the exhaust. Heading towards we don't really have any tunnels around here, which is really annoying. There's a bridge that we can go under to get some sounds of it under there. I guess the bit that I'm looking forward to is when we take the bung out, how much louder it's going to be.
Yeah.
But also, is there going to be a difference in performance, because technically you're taking that restriction out? Maybe not peak power, well maybe peak power, but more of a mid-range torque thing.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be, that's where we'll feel the difference.
It's just like then you're cruising at 60 and there's no drone at all.
It gets pretty drony on the motorway. I think that's why I love this car so much, is it's got completely split personality. Like, you can literally change from 2 gears and it's like a different car. I mean, you can get away with being in 6th at 30. Like, I'm in 6th right now.
It's so quiet. It's not angry at you.
I think basically once you get above 50-ish miles an hour, 50 to 60, after that, I mean, it gets pretty drony. The other thing as well, which I didn't think about until a few days ago, is that some exhaust systems mean like they overpower the intake system. Thankfully, this one at this point it doesn't, so you can still hear the crossover like really clearly, which I think that's something I've been taking for advantage. Gee, I can't talk today, guys. Taken for granted. I don't even know where I was going with that point anymore because I can't talk. So we are coming up to the bridge. It's quite a long bridge, so it's almost a tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it sound like it's better than it is. It's not great. I think we should do windows down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was good.
That sounds crazy.
Well, imagine what that'd sound like in a tunnel.
Imagine if we did actually have some tunnels. And that's with the bung in. That's with the bung in. That's so insane. Okay, so now we're back and we're going to do some revving and some decibel levels. I didn't get a decibel level of just the catback, but I do have revving of the catback. So if we cut to past Olly now. Thanks, future Olly. So this is going to be sound tests of this spoon catback. So standard manifold. Here we go. So yeah, that's what the catback sounded like before. This is what the full exhaust system with the bung in sounds like, and we'll get a decibel level. Right, this is a decibel test. Obviously you can see it changing as I'm talking at it. Let's see what this sounds like. Right, let's get this exhaust bung out. I've put gloves on because this is going to be incredibly sooty and I want to drive my car and not get it filthy. Oh, that was way easier to get out than it was to get in.
That was a nice colour.
Yeah, so obviously you can see it should be the silver that I've just scratched. Okay, this is no exhaust bung. Let's see what it sounds like. This is the decibel test for the spoon exhaust without the bung in. So I'm not sure how accurate that decibel reader is. I'm not convinced that's an accurate reading of the fact that without the bung it's only 3 or 4 decibels difference.
Yeah, well I've had up to 107 on it before, but that was really loud what I was doing.
But isn't that like a constant sound though? Whereas if we're doing a rev, it will only take...
It'll just go peak reading, yeah.
I think it was louder than 99. So take that as you will. Anyway, let's get on with driving this thing without the exhaust bung. I wonder if, now it's out, the ECU has to sort of do some calculations on, oh, we've got better airflow, so I need to change stuff, because the idle went weird then.
Yeah.
It's more droney.
Yeah, it's definitely more droney. More rasp.
Yeah. That's not as loud as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's not as loud.
Which I guess is a good thing.
But again, it's the different characteristics of the exhaust. I said this when you put the manifold in, it wasn't necessarily louder, there's just different characteristics to the sound, like more raspy and more free-flowing sounding.
Yeah.
Still sounds awesome.
I mean, yeah, it still sounds awesome. And so this is 50 in sixth, and any acceleration you get that.
Yeah. But then is it much worse than it was before?
In terms of what?
In terms of the noise on acceleration.
I said in that when we first started up, I said that it was nowhere near as loud as I thought it was going to be. And I'm not trying to make like the loudest Civic here. It's good that it's quiet. I think I'm more surprised that the bung hasn't made as much of a difference as I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think that's more where I'm coming from with this. It's definitely louder in the mid-range.
Yeah.
There's definitely more, I suppose it is more drone really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that raspiness when you're not actually flooring it but you're just driving along, that's way more pronounced. It is still there with the bung, but you hear it way more like the...
Yeah.
That sound.
It's like the bung just roundens the sound off a bit. Sort of just... You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't help that we're... Oh, police. I don't really know if it's that crazy different. I think when you're going to notice it, is you're going to notice it at normal driving speeds. The mid-range does feel a little bit different, I suppose. It does feel just a bit more responsive, but
yeah.
Apart from that, I thought it would be much louder and have some sort of performance change. Because I was speaking to the guys at Motion Motorsport, I was like, how much do you think a bung makes a difference? And they said that on their M4 race car, they put the bung in. The driver was driving, it was like, something just doesn't feel right, says something's wrong. Yeah. So they dynoed it, and on the BMW M4 race car, it made 50 horsepower difference putting the bung in.
Wow.
50. I mean, obviously that's got way more power than this, so like,
yeah.
But even so, like, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is big difference.
Because I assume with this one it's only like 3 or 4 horsepower,
yeah.
And without being on a dyno and doing a test,
yeah,
you're not going to know. I mean, again, it is still incredibly livable considering it's the exhaust system that it is. I would say that the biggest difference is in that 2,000-ish RPM before Vtec.
Before Vtec, yeah.
Maybe it might even be a smaller window than that. That's where you hear like the drone difference.
Yeah, that's what the bung's doing, isn't it? It's getting rid of the drone.
Tunnel time. Oh my god, that sounded insane.
Oh, that's nuts. Ah, someone else has broken down in the same place I did.
So guys, as you can see, it's actually not the same day. I've got different clothes on. That worked out in my favour because I've actually been able to look at the footage and sort of listen to the differences and make a decision on that, because when we were filming it I couldn't really tell the difference because there was such long time gaps between each thing, but now I've actually listened to it like next to each other. It's very different. So I would say it sounds, compared to the catback, it sounds a lot raspier. And then between the bung in and the bung out, I would say it sounds better with the bung out, as you'd expect it would. But for everyday use, bung in is definitely better for that drone. I guess it's personal preference really, so I don't really know what to say on whether you guys liked it or not. I think it sounds insane, especially the driving clips with the GoPro. That bit sounds absolutely mental. I really like it. It sounds really cool. So you guys let me know down in the comment section which sound you prefer, whether you'd actually run this sort of system on your car, because it is pretty loud. But I'd say for a full exhaust system, it's nowhere near as loud as other exhaust systems can be, which I'm really happy about, because I'm not looking to actually have the loudest car. I'm just looking to have a good sounding one. I guess this is sort of like an ongoing thing for this channel. So if you guys want to hear anything else or want any other sort of videos based around the sound of this car or whatever, then let me know in the comments as well. I guess that's going to do it for this one, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and yeah, comment down below what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.